श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वंच कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll just quickly try to summarize the NOI and then we'll try to adjourn today. After that, so that devotee who are preparing for exam, they have some direction. Those who were not part of Nectar of Instruction classes, you can just listen the summary and next time or whenever your time comes, at that time it will serve as a background. So Nectar of Instruction is extremely powerful book compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami, and it's coming out of the instruction that was personally given to Rupa Goswami by Mahaprabhu. So although it's compiled by Rupa Goswami, but these teachings are coming from Mahaprabhu. So we have to take it in that way, very serious subject. So Nectar of Instruction has total 11 verses, and these verses, first 7 verses that we have, 1 to 7, talks about Vaidhi Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti. Sadhana Bhakti, mostly the Vaidhi Bhakti part of Sadhana Bhakti. First 7 verses, which means it gives us the process of how to do bhakti. For sure, it's very important for those who wants to do bhakti. And then verse number 8 is once we are perfected in our Vaidhi Bhakti, then the higher stage is Raga Anuga Bhakti, where devotion is driven by one's attachment, not by shastric injunctions. So Vaidhi Bhakti is done under the instructions of Shastra. What are do's, what are don't, how to conduct oneself, vidhi nishedha, that's how we normally call. And then by following the regulative methods of bhakti, one sufficiently advanced to come to the stage of raga anuga, where one is following the spontaneous attachment that one has for bhakti. And we'll discuss that in details in Nectar of Devotion. And then last 3 verses talks about even higher stage, which is bhava and prema, when one has now love for Supreme Lord, when it's almost about to be matured, it's bhava stage, and when it's fully matured, it's prema stage. Prema punyartho mahan. What is the goal of the life? Krishna's prem, punyartho mahan. coming to the stage where one has pure love for Krishna. So, verse number 1, Vachvega Mansakrodabega, talks about we have to control six urges: mind, speech, anger, tongue, belly, and genital. Verse number 2 talks about controlling six vices, which is over endeavoring, useless talk, overeating, improper compliance with the scriptural rules, which means misinterpretation, not understanding the real meaning of Shastra, bad association, and greed. अत्यहार प्रयासस्य प्रजल्पनीयमाग्रह जनसंघ से लौलं च सद्विधि भक्ति विनश्यति. That's the verse. And then verse number 3 talks about now we are getting into the do's. What are the six things one should do? One should show enthusiasm, and we had talked about it. So one should show great enthusiasm in the process of bhakti. Don't get, don't get, you know, um, upset or don't lose your enthusiasm. Become, oh, it's not working for me type of thing. Have determination that with due course of time, process that you are following will help you. Keep patience. Follow the prescribed duties, which are practices that are given in the Shastra. Avoid bad association and follow Acharya. And then this is Utsandharya Nishat Tatat Karman Pravartatit. That's the verse. And then it talks about loving exchanges. Dadati Pratigrinati, Guhyam Pakyati Prikchati, Bhunjate Bhukti Chayog, Sadvidhi Priti Lakshanam. What are the symptoms of priti, love? Giving and receiving gift to the devotee, for sure. These dealings are within devotee, revealing one's mind, inquiring in confidentiality, accepting and bhonkate and bhujate, offering prasadam to others. And then we talked about there are three types of devotee, and very appropriately we have to respect them. Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttama. We have respect for all of them, but we have to respect them differently, depend on their adhikara. And verse number 6 talks very important thing. If one is devotee, one has to be devotee. That's the condition there, which means one has faith in process of devotional services and is following the anga of bhakti towards Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if that person has some defects, we should not see that defect. A defect means here, if somebody is blind, we don't make the joke of somebody blindness. Somebody has problem with hearing, deaf, and all of that type of thing. We don't make fun of that. And then finally, trying to awaken the taste for holy name. An example is given that when there is jaundice, sugar candy tastes bitter. That doesn't mean that sugar is bitter. It tastes bitter because one has jaundice. But if sugar starts tasting sweet, that means jaundice is gone. So if there is no taste for holy name, that means we still have conditioning. We still have, material conditioning or some degree of impurity that is stopping us release the taste that is there in holy name. Because name of Krishna, Nam Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Nitya Mukto, Purna Shuddho, Abhinatto Nam Namino. It's none different than Krishna himself. So one should awaken the taste for holy name. So you can see up to seven, we are very much learning do's and don'ts, and we are still a practitioner, sadhaka. Now from sadhana, since we are chanting the name of Krishna, we are developing the taste for chanting the name of Krishna. And now we are elevating to the higher stage where we are developing a spontaneous interest. There is no force now. There is nobody asking that, oh, you have to get up in the morning to go to Mangalarti, but you like it. Nobody is forcing you to be humble, but you understand that humility is the essence of what you do. So one is in the stage of raga, raga nuga bhakti, which means staying at holy places such as Braja and following those devotees who are following bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti, Bhakta are following the devotee who are in Bhava stage and Prema stage. And under their guidance, they are residing at holiest place and serving. So Bhakti has not stopped it. Bhakti has not stopped it. Still the Bhakti is going on. And with that Bhakti, one is developing the due respect for the holy places, due respect for Srimati Radharani, who is the dearmost devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then they are taking shelter of holy places, such as Radha Kund, because Radha Kund is very dear to Srimati Radharani. So this type of attachment comes when one is releasing very higher stages of bhakti. So what I'll do is that quickly just go through the verses. This is verse number 1 that talks about 6 urges that must be stopped. Vacha Vega, Mansa Krodha Vega, Jiya Vega, Udara Upastha Vega. So we have gone through it. And then second verse, Atyara Prayasa Saparjalpa Niyamagraha Jansangar Salvalam Cha Sadvi Bhakti Vinashati. We have gone through that also. Third verse, Utsanisha Dharyat Tatat Karman Pravartata. We have gone through that too. Then Tadati Putti Grinati. We have gone through it. Then three types of devotee, Krishnatiyasya Giri, the one who is in Kanistha stage, they need to be mentally honored. And one who have taken initiated and have followed bhakti for many years, has understanding of shastric injunctions, and they are purely following the bhakti. They are madmadikari, and one should try to respect madmadikari and seek their association. But higher than that is seeking the association of a Uttmadhikari who are fully performing the devotional services, undeviated. Fully, that person is in process of bhakti and whose heart is free from all types of propensity, such as criticizing the other living being. So that devotee is now fully pure, completely pure. He does not have propensity to criticize others. Criticism is really something that is very prominent if there is no awareness of Krishna, consciousness, negativity, seeing things negative. That is a big contamination. Ultimately, devotee knows Krishna is the doer, and we put our endeavor. But on pure devotional platform, we don't really expect outcome the way we want. That's also what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, which is defined as niskam karma. So this person, Uttamadhikari, is very, very advanced. And then verse number 6 talks about not seeing the physical fault. And then verse number 7 is talking about how to develop taste. Because if we are in disease condition, then we have no taste for holy name. This is the verse. It's kind of transitioning verse. It says that one should discuss about Krishna's name, form, pastime, and character. Naam, Roop, Charitadi, Shukritananu. This does not happens very easily unless and until there is a spontaneous taste, propensity for hearing Lord's name, worshipping his deity form, hearing his pastime. All of that is not going to be very easy. And one should do this by residing in holy places and serving the devotee who are attached to Krishna's bhakti. It's very important. Krishna has also spoken in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has spoken that first try to be devotee of my devotee, right? And we had some discussion last class in Nectar of Devotion that if you want to go to Krishna, we have to go to devotee who are devotee of Krishna. That devotee will take us to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will take us to all the acharyas, to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, finally to Mahaprabhu, finally to Krishna. We can't exactly, can't jump because we don't have that understanding that, who is Krishna. Example is given that if you are flying from St. Louis to Chicago, you just have to board on the flight. But the pilot knows how to navigate the plane and to take you to Chicago. You say that no, 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 no. You go on the backside. Let me now fly the plane. What will happen? You'll have big accident. You will just get killed. You can't even get to your destination. So these are practical example to present the deeper spiritual message here. But bhakti we always do by depending on devotee. Always, always. We don't, you know, discredit the responsibility of devotee. Never, ever. That means it's not good. So so Bhakti, who a devotee who are in Raganuga stage, he's understanding that. And then we went through this verse. It says that Vaikuntha definitely is higher than the material world. Higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura. Higher than Mathura is Vrindavan. Higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan. And higher than Govardhan is Sri Radha Kund. Why? Because Srimati Radharani is very, very dear to Supreme Lord. And Radha Kund is personification of her love for Krishna in form of kunda, in form of water. So extremely auspicious place. So one should try to basically do the bhakti. Bhakti, not karm prayas, not the gyan prayas. And I remember when I was doing this verse, I said that the nectar of devotion will see pure definition of the bhakti. Where it says Anyavilasita Sunyo Gyan Karmadhyanavrito Anukulenu Krishnanu Bhaktir Uttama. Uttam bhakti is free from endeavor of gyan and karma, right? And here in this verse, it's been presented that karmic are the most, fallen type of personality. Higher than them is Jnani. Okay, and higher than Jnanis are yogis, chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. And higher than yogis are bhakta. But of all the bhakta, Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee because she is very, very dear to Krishna. So one should aspire to be very dear to Krishna, not very dear to anything else. Okay, and then that's how this nectar of instruction concludes with this verse number 11 that says that there are many objects of favor, and of all, Srimati Radharani is the most treasured objects of Krishna's love. So becoming, you know, although we are seeing an example of Srimati Radharani, but what is the practical application for this verse for us? The practical application is that becoming dear, doing things which are becoming, which are making us uh, dear, dear to Krishna. Should we do which are pleasing to Krishna? Yes. Or should we do which are done to please Krishna? Or we should do which are pleasing to Krishna? We should do which are pleasing to Krishna. We can do XYZ things thinking that it's going to please Krishna. No, not necessarily. So what are pleasing to Krishna? Krishna has spoken in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has spoken that at many places that engage in devotional service, follow, my order, see all living entity as part and parcel of me. So these are the things which Krishna has already spoken. So by doing that, we are doing services which are pleasing to Krishna. We don't, and last class also we talked about it. We don't do things just to force that it will please Krishna. So this is extremely, extremely important slide. Very important slide for nectar of instruction. So these 11 verses are segmented in two major buckets. Verses which are giving us sadhana bhakti, tools of sadhana bhakti, and verses which are taking us to bhava and prema stage. So sadhana has two components, Badhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. We'll hear more about it in Nectar of Devotion. Badhi Bhakti, verse number 1 to 7. And Raganuga Bhakti is spoken in verse number 8. And 9, 10, 11, these three verses are talking about Bhava and Prema Bhakti. So please, if you have to remember one thing to summarize all these 11 verses, that's how you summarize. First 7 verses talking about Badhi Bhakti. Verse number 8 talks about Raganuga Bhakti. Verse 9, 10, 11 talks about Bhava and Prema Bhakti. Very, very important. That way you can see the flow and importance of that verse, practical implication of those verses for us. So that's what we studied in Nectar of Instruction. And here is the pattern for your exam. So we are going to have total 20 questions, 5 multiple choice, each of 1 mark. So I may give 6 questions. Number of questions, I think I should make here 6. We're going to have 6 questions. And you have to answer 5. 5 minutes will be the recommended time. Then I'll give 3 verses out of these 11 verses. So please, see these verses. And some of these verses are very, like a star verse here. So for sure, you should not misremembering this verse. Verse number 2 is a star verse. Verse number 3 is a star verse. 4 is also a star verse, like that. So go through these verses, memorize it. I'll give you 3 verses, and you have to write 2 verse, their translation. So write the verse. It's called WVT, Write the verse and translation. WVT. VT. Write words and translation. Then there will be 6 questions, short answer, and you have to answer 5 out of those 6. Each of them will be 5 mark. So 25 for short answer. And each verse, since you have to memorize the verse, we give more marks. So each verse is of 10 mark. So you will get 20 marks by writing the verse and translation. And then mid answer type. So short answer, you'll be okay even if you just write the bullet points or very short essay. Don't write too much. I saw some of your previous exams, and I think somewhere you have written more because you knew it was kind of easy. It's up to you. If you want to write more, for sure you can write more. But if the essential messages are there, I would not really deduct your mark. I'll give you full marks. Mid answer you can elaborate. You can write as much as you want, given the given you have time. And then essay type, 2 options will be there, and you have to pick one, whichever one you like. An essay is minimum 300 words, but if you write more, I have no problem with that. But don't write less. Sometimes I see devotee. I was surprised. I mean, for me, essay was pretty easy. You ask me to write essay on anything, I'll keep on writing. But I found that devotees are telling me, "Oh, Prabhu, essay is very difficult." I said, "Why?" Essay is like just telling you that, give some guidance and say that, tell me what you think about preaching the Western audience. Why we should engage in preaching the Western audience. I mean, this is not something that is really very difficult to answer. It should not be like that. Just give your understanding. So please, write very. One thing that I like in essay is I want to see a logical thinking. So your presentation should be in a way whatever you are thinking, write in a logical way. And just by reading, you can say that what devotee is thinking. There is no right or wrong answer also, by the way. And the most important thing for essay type of question is that how you think, what you think, and how you are presenting. Presentation is more important than anything else. Really, if you have written 300 words, you are getting good mark, 12 or 13, something like that. So that's all we have for nectar of instruction. I would like to pause here and see if there is anything anybody would like to ask.
Prabhu, is it this? I think only 4 verses to memorize, Prabhu.
No, we have to memorize.
Because
We have to
you,
memorize.
the star was.
We have to memorize more verses. Honor Prabhu, where are you? Hold on. Yeah, sorry, I had some noise. Uh, Santa Mataji, can you please unmute yourself? Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
No, no, Prabhu, you have given some verses
Yeah,
including
those 4
this.
verses, star verses means it's I definitely will have one or two. So 3 verses I have to give. So for sure, 1 or 2 verses are going to be from those 4 verses because those are star verses. Those verses we are expecting that students should memorize, but you need to memorize 11 verses, as many as you can. 4 verses are very easy to memorize, but verse number 8, other verses are a little tough to memorize also. So I'm not going to say that only those 4 verses is what you have to memorize, but those 4 verses for sure you have to memorize, if that's you're asking, Mataji.
So 1 to 4, and then you're suggesting any other verses, or yeah, as you're saying, as many as best, but normally
Yeah,
you just
as many as best, and you can memorize as many as you want, right? But those 4 verses for sure.
and it covers 2.
Uh,
That covers 2. You need
Two?
to write two, right, Prabhu?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Two verses we have to write out of three. You're right. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanas Pranam, all yours, Prabhupada.
Haribol.
One quick question. Uh, you mentioned about, of course, earlier also we discussed. So, Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganavanga Bhakti, Bhakti to Bhava and Prema Bhakti. So, from Vaidhi Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti, this is a gradual process. So, my question is, how much the chanting would be contributing for this? You mentioned maybe some kind of material desire is there, contamination is there. For that reason, we may not be able to taste the holy name of the Lord. You refer the verse also, Namachintamani Krishna, so that verse. Um, so one thing I myself thinking, even it's been a long time chanting, but are we doing the anything wrong with the chanting of the Krishna's name? For example, Krishna name, there are two ways, right? In English, we write it as Krishna, Krishna. But actually in Sanskrit or in other languages, we write it as Krishna. So is there anything wrong there? The pronunciation or chanting that would be contributing not to progress as we wanted to progress, Roji? Can you please enlighten a little bit on that?
Yeah. So this is very good that you are asking it. Prabhupada has also answered. Prabhupada was also asked this type of question. And many devotees are also being asked, is it the pronunciation? Krishna is known as Bhav Grahi Janardana. So Bhav is emotion, Grahi means the one who accepts, and Janardana is the Supreme Lord, the Ishwar of all the living entity. So really, it's not the pronunciation. It's how intensely we are calling the name. Like they say that in Chinese word there is no word raw. They don't have word raw. So hale, they will say lama like that they will say, but still they are saying name of Krishna. So it's not pronunciation that is important. For sure, if you can pronounce correctly, like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. It's not Rama, Hare Ram. Little bit Sandhi there too. And O is O and O is A also. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For sure, we should try to have uh, very precise pronunciation, but emotion, bhav is more important. Like when you are chanting name of Krishna, then Prabhupada said that chanting should be like a baby is crying for mother. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chanting, should be living name. You know, there is one book written by one of our spiritual master, living name. So when we are chanting the name of Krishna, the name should be living name. And when it's living name, when we are focused, Krishna, Ram, and mind will take us in so many directions. I have to do this. Let me send the message. Now I'm right now I have a little bit bigger responsibility. So I think a lot. I have to do this, I have to do that. But at the time of chanting, normally I chant in the morning. If I'm not chanted in the morning, very hard for me to chant. So in the morning, wherever it happens, I don't really, I have to give topmost priority to my chanting. So I get up, don't look at the phone, whatever it is. First thing is that I do, my morning prayers and then just get into my DT room, chant. Once chanting is done, then I look at anything else. So mind has a habit in the morning when you are getting up, mind is very calm, very quiet, and you can give focus. You can give direction to the mind wherever you want to focus at. So in the morning time, not much distraction. I see people sleeping with the phone, getting up with the phone all the time with the phone, and they expect that you should also be on the phone. Those type of expectations are not good. If somebody is doing that doesn't mean that I'll be doing it. Or if somebody is getting displeased that I'm not on the phone all the time, that's not. So try to have living, try to have chanting, which is very lively chanting. Means as much as you can, give a uh, have a routine. I always tell people, you know, that don't live a random life. Never ever. Devotee means very, very regulated, very defined. I know what I'm doing. Here is my, if you see there, here is my routine. you know so everything that I do, I give a thought. I think, I write. I don't act randomly. If there's something that I made mistake, we are human being, we make mistake, I come and meditate on that. A lot of notes and books. So be very defined. When you are chanting, be very focused. Give a slot for chanting the name of Krishna, because there could be nam aparad, there could be Nam Avhas, and there could be Shuddha Nam chanting. So Nam Aparad is chanting the name of Krishna with offenses. Prabhu, how are you? How is everything going? All this contamination. And Nama Avhas is the mixture where you are chanting but not purely. Shuddha Nam is completely chanting the name of Krishna. We dedicated time. My wife, Karunanidhi Devidasi, she does all the household stuff. But when she gets to the chanting, she'll close the room and she'll just chant. She doesn't chant in the morning because she has to do some other stuff. But she chants later. But when her chanting time comes, she closes the door, get into her room and chants. So that is first part of your question. Are we having some defect in our chanting? Yes. Chanting has to be very purely, and that will give longevity to your bhakti. That will give taste to your bhakti. Krishna Chatudapna Marjanam Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. Krishna will cleanse the contamination in your heart. All of that happens if we are chanting the name of Krishna purely, lively. Second part of question was, is it holy name or something else? Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes in Bhakti Aloka. He says that once process of deity worship, or deity that you worship to, please listen it very carefully. It's very important. Very, very important. It's coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says the deity that you worship, service that you do, devotee or people that you associate to, a scripture that you read, all of that should be for only one purpose. And that purpose is to awaken the love towards Krishna. And that awakening of the love is expressed by two things. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Nam Ruchi Jiyudaya, having the taste for holy name and having the compassion for living entity. Somebody is my friend, somebody is my enemy. That's okay. I don't have to see as a friend. I don't have to see as an enemy. None of too much attachment, too much detachment. Both are bad. According to principle of bhakti, too much attach. I'm too much in attachment because somebody is very favorable to me, and too detached because somebody is very inimical to me. Both rag and dvesh is the. There are five. I can keep on going. There are five cause, Patanjali says, for existence, and rag and dvesh is one of them, which is too much attachment and too much, envy. None of this. Just be neutral. Just be neutral. I'm the living force. I'm the living entity. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that have the compassion for living entity and develop the taste. And that taste will develop when all of these things, like reading, we say that we are follower of Brahmada Gaurya Sampradaya. So follow the teaching of Brahmada Gaurya Sampradaya. What our six Goswamis have given. It's not like that the process that somebody else has given is a wrong process or lower. That we don't get into that business. If you ask me, that's not now my business. Which one is lower, which one is higher? That is, I don't understand. I don't have intelligence to understand that. But my endeavor should be to focus on the process that is given to me. Okay, that is given to me by my Guru Maharaj. You know, that process that is given by Prabhupada, by Acharyas. Just stay on that process very honestly, sincerely. Follow those things. Then slowly and slowly, slowly and slowly, the taste will develop. Okay. Taste with holy name will develop. Prabhupada said that 90% advancement is only with chanting the name of Krishna. 90%, 95% you can even say. 99% you can even say. It's mostly with chanting, because in Kali Kal, Nama Rupe, Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has incarnated in his Nam Rupa. And other processes that are given there are given to nourish this one goal, that we can chant the name of Krishna. A study that we do, a deity worship that we do, anything else that we are doing, those are given to develop the taste for holy name. Okay, but we have distraction. You have a lot of distraction. I have distraction. You have distraction. And in sadhana stage, it happens. As a sadhaka, we are going through roller coaster ups and downs. Emotions are there. Sometimes this emotion, sometimes that emotion. So you can chant, name of Krishna very purely if you are not going through this lot of ups and downs. Try to stabilize, focus, and chant name of Krishna. So chanting is everything. Ultimately, or with all that example, the conclusion is that chanting is everything. But in order for us to chant properly, we have to do and understand all of these things.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. I think you have very nicely explained this one. Is one point you said, Bhavagrahi Janardana, in which mode we chanting, that is very, very important. And the other one, Bhaktivinoda Thakur response. So four things I think you mentioned, Prabhuji, name, the name you chant, the holy name. Is that correct? And the deity you worship, scriptures.
Yes. So, like for example, what I was trying to say is that you worship deity of, I'm just telling, okay, somebody else, some other deity. Don't worship the deity of Radha and Krishna. Chant the name of Krishna. Okay, people that you associate, they are the people who have mixed faith, right? Are you seeing? Are you following me? So all of these things you are doing differently. Going to the places where people are of the mixed faith. They are talking so many things, and you are hearing them. You know, those type of things. This mixture. What happens is that if you are advanced, if you can handle, I cannot handle. I need to be very focused, and one should in the very contaminated stage or in the early stage be very focused, focused on what I'm doing, what is my goal. So that's the point. No, you cannot worship deity of somebody else and say that I'm devotee of Krishna. How it's possible? You cannot associate with the people who have a mixed faith and you say that I'm trying to develop pure faith for Krishna bhakti. How it will happen? You are a follower of Brahmadagorya Sampradaya. You cannot read the books that is published by somebody else. That will not nourish. So it's nothing that there is something wrong there. Don't take me wrong. Understand my point. It's not me. I'm just repeating. Understand my point. So everything should be done for one purpose. Krishna, Prema Pumartho Mahan. I have to awaken my love for Krishna. So all the things that I'm doing in my life, Right now, we are studying Nectar of Instruction from Rupa Goswami, Nectar of Devotion from Rupa Goswami. We associate with devotee who are worshipping Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. We read, books. We do kirtan. We do kirtan of Krishna. You cannot do kirtan and bring some mundane thing, thinking that it's all going to help me. Yeah, I'm not saying. People sometimes tell me, "Oh, this is also name of Krishna." Yeah, that's also name of Krishna. It's also name of Krishna. But what is the problem doing the name of Krishna, which is given to you by your parampara? So it's not coming from me. It's our acharya saying that if you have everything that you are doing, everything is being done for one purpose, then your advancement will be very quick. You will move very fast. And once you go high, then you can see everything. Are you following me, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's very, very, very helpful. Yes.
So don't so it's not, so it's not if I do not go to some other places, that doesn't mean that I'm thinking that they are lower. That's not the point. I'm who am I to criticize anybody else's faith? No, but I have my Guru Maharaj, I have my acharyas, their teaching, their methods. Let's follow that. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. That if you do that, then you'll advance very quickly and less distraction, very focused. You will receive the depth in your understanding. You will see things sometimes which others cannot, understand also because you have very condensed understanding. So in a beginning stage, keep the distraction minimal. Service is not distraction. If somebody tells you, Prabhu, you're always thinking about service, it's very good. It's very good. It's for your purification. It's mercy of the devotee who are giving you more services because we purify more. We are thinking about Krishna. The services is none different than doing something to please Krishna. We are doing to please Krishna. So engaging in services, jena, tena, karena, whatever way we are thinking about Krishna. It's very good. Very, very good. So, so that's how it is. But once we, advance, once we become advanced, Prabhupada had due respect for everything else. Who are Christian follower. He didn't. If read Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentaries. Bhaktivinoda Thakur never criticized anybody. I can give you just one example that when India had a kingdom, all the kings were there, and those kings were very strong follower of Varnashram Dharma. Let me stop recording. Or okay, I don't know how to do it. So they were very strong follower of Varnashram Dharma. So they were following Varnashram Dharma, but not the actual Dharma, Bhakti. Bhakti was not very prominent except few personality. So when Islam came, Surajuddaula, Babur, and Aurangzeb, Genghis Khan, all of these people, they started demolishing the temple and converting Hindu into Islam. So they were worse, much, much worse, because they started, they did not even allow people to follow the Varnashram Dharma. Okay. When Mughal came, when Mughal was kicked out, sorry, when British government came, British government had intent to do business and conquer India. They were not too much behind religious practices, like breaking the temple, converting Hindu to Christian. Those type of things were not their goals. So at that time, many many devotees, they felt some pacification. I don't have to get into this freedom fighting. Government is not forcing me to convert into Christian. I can quietly come off and follow bhakti. Bhakti Vinod Thakur appreciated that. This is again very high thinking. Bhaktivinoda Thakur appreciated British ruling, saying that the people who are trying to cultivate pure devotion, they are rare of the rarest. बहुनाम जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान माम प्रपद्यन्ते वासुदेवम सर्वमिति समात्मन से दुर्लभ मनुष्य नाम सहस्रसु कस्य वेतति सिद्धये तन्ते अपि सिद्धानाम कश्चिन vetima tattva. These are all coming from Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying that those, there are thousands of the people who are following the Varnashram Dharma. There are thousands of the people who are trying to convert. There are thousands of the people who have envy towards other people. But it's very rarest of the rare that we have few people who are trying, striving to be pure devotee. And that is the rarest, most wealth. If there is one wealth that is rare most, is pure devotion. Person who is striving for pure devotion. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is appreciating that at this time, at least there, I mean, he was in that time, that people can practice without disturbance. So the point I was trying to make is that see, how you can cultivate pure devotion. In what condition, in what situation you can cultivate pure devotion. And that is most important. That's very important. The situation that provides you inspiration to cultivate pure devotion, that situation is most favorable situation. And the people who are cultivating, striving to get pure, to come to the stage of pure devotion, they are most rare people. So, see it that way. So chanting name of Krishna is trying to practice pure devotion and create the environment in your life that will help you be a better devotee, that help you become a serious devotee and appreciate that. Appreciate somebody else's devotion if it's pure, and create culture in your life to cultivate pure devotion, because that is the rare of the rarest. Just wanted to a little bit, share you how Acharya thinks about certain thing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's very, very helpful. And you made a point also, devotees would not act randomly like that. They very systematically give a thought before act, kind of thing, and how that is also very, very important.
If you are attached to Guru Shastra and Sadhu all the time, don't disconnect. Keep yourself connected, like listening all the time something meaningful, reading all the time something meaningful. If you are always striving for perfection, and if your heart is striving for pure devotion, Krishna gives intelligence. Krishna is working with everybody, with you, with me, with all of the devotee here, everybody. And slowly Krishna is giving them opportunity to come high, and higher. Okay, so things that's happening has lower perspective also. You can see on the mundane level, but see higher perspective out of it. Right now, I'm put into this situation because I had some impurity that I couldn't purify. Krishna is forcing me to purify it. See like that. Then you will release it. You will not get bored. So also when you advance in the process of bhakti, you release it. If you are releasing it, that means you are advancing it. But if you say too boring, I have to from morning to evening, Monday to Sunday, do the same thing, people will say, "Oh, you people, Krishna's people, all you do is Krishna, Krishna, Krishna." They don't understand that the one who is doing Krishna, Krishna, Krishna is releasing. So also release it. Try to make things in your life in a way that you are releasing it. Am I making sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So those are the things. So if you are releasing it, then you are chanting the name, going back to your previous question. So if you are releasing things, everything, chanting, kirtan, book distribution, cooking, all of that. If you're releasing, then when you get time to chant name of Krishna, you'll release it. Then you'll listen, oh Krishna, like that. So that's the point in nutshell.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Shall I share one thing, Prabhuji, quickly?
Yeah, please. Oh, yeah, I should definitely share.
Yeah. No, just I mean to say the picture. So are you able to see it?
No, I'm not. Please share.
Oh, okay, okay. Maybe let me take off my black now.
You can share. I think you should be able to share it, Prabhuji.
I'm in the video, Prabhuji, in the video.
Yeah, I see Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yeah. So yeah, you made the inspiration from your background, Prabhuji.
Oh,
I made this one 16 by 20 frame.
uh-huh.
Prepared myself the picture, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I put it in a frame.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, this is
Thank you.
16 by 20. The size of this one is to
Nice.
fix it to the wall. Yeah, it's inspiration
Yeah.
from the background.
Yeah. Thank you. So this is just an example that anything that we do in our life, we do in a way, like if you go to devotee's house, you would see any wall you see Radha Krishna. So these are just to remind all the time, enforcing that best practice. I like it. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing. And I thought that why is my picture? Then I thought, no, it's Sadhgujanand Prabhu's name.
So,
Because they're seeing the same picture which I have on my frame too, right?
yeah.
So I was thinking it's same thing. Yes, Prabhu. So at the end of the day, let's try to be, don't be too much distracted. You know, one of the devotee who is my very good friend, he was telling me at the end of the day, what is important? You know what? He said that how sincerely I can chant name of Krishna. At the end of the day, that's all. That's all. How much attachment I have with the holy name, how much respect I have for my acharyas. Those are the real achievement in the life. So that when we leave the body, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami is there to say that, yes, thank you, please come. So, yeah. And the whole teaching is very nicely summarized by Mahaprabhu. Tinadapi Suni Chanantari Sahishu Navananiya Mandana Kirtaniya Sadhari. You know, that's so always Kirtaniya Sadhari, chant the name of Krishna. Thank you. So I think we're now going to be talking about nectar of instruction. On 7th, we have exam, right, Bimla Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. December 7th.
Okay. You have anything else? Should we adjourn here? Bridget Mataji, how are you? Brinda Sundari Mataji, how are you? Anything, Mataji? Kalavati Radha Mataji, do you have anything? Share.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hari bol.
No, Prabhu, it was a very good summarization. Yeah.
Mataji always appreciates. Thank you, Mataji. Satyanarayan Prabhu, anything?
Prabhu, one question. Maybe
Yeah.
when you chant, it is Hare Ram, not Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Is it correct?
Hare Ram, yes. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Right. I mean, I just said that, pronunciation really, if the intensity is there, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I see people say Hare Rama, Hare Rama. It's Hare Ram, Hare Ram. It's Ram. But people who have different language, different accent, they may say Rama, Rama also. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. I think that's also, I have seen many even our devotees saying Rama, Hare Rama, Hare. This is Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare. Yes, Prabhu Ji. Thank you, Hare Krishna. So we'll meet next Saturday and we'll resume our nectar of devotion discussions. What is the date? Okay, 30th. So exam is on 7th. So we have next Saturday for NOD, nectar of devotion. Is that right? Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vanchkal Pataru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Vesha Pandanam
Patitanam
Pavane
Pavanebhyo
Vesha.
Vaishnavebhyo.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, everybody, for giving